Okay, guys. Together.
Hold on 1 second, guys. Just 1 second.
There's those smiles. You gotta do it quick for me, guys.
We're trying our best.
Ready to go? And Mr. Caan right here.
Mr. Caan?
James Caan's signature role is definitely 100% Sonny Corleone in The Godfather. He plays this volatile, but also lovable, but also kind of a hot mess, older brother, oldest sibling in the Corleone family. And he is kind of remarkable in the film. And it's interesting because Francis Ford Coppola cast predominantly Italian-American actors in The Godfather. James Caan is one of the few who isn't. You know, he was born to Jewish immigrants from Germany and Sunnyside, Queens, and yet he completely disappeared into this Italian-American family in The Godfather, in the Corleone family.
This is for okay. Another international here.
What's it like working high, working with Arnold? And you almost get to kill him. How come you don't kill him?
Well, because he had another picture to do immediately after we finished, so they asked me not to hurt him.
I mean, he's sort of famous for his on-set antics. Mooning was a big issue on the Godfather set, apparently, often instigated by James Caan. He seemed to be able to go back and forth between playing these incredibly serious roles and just having fun, just sort of putting it aside when the director calls cut.
Hey, welcome to the desert. Big U2 fan?
Oh, yeah.
What do you think about the fact that it's here in Vegas?
I think that's good, because I'm here.
It's interesting to look at, you know, at the time that he got the role to play Sonny in The Godfather, he also had this TV movie, Brian's Song, in which he played a football player who was diagnosed with cancer. And it's this tearjerker. I think for a generation of men, it's probably one of the first times a movie or TV show made them cry. And so James kind of had this kind of interesting dual character in the minds of audiences, particularly in the 70s.
Well, I mean, you know, I've done, there's 70-something films in between The Godfather and Elf, you know. So people say, geez, from The Godfather to Elf, you know, in one easy lesson. Listen, I don't know, I'm an actor and I get paid to do that. And unfortunately, people see me that way, and I don't get to do, you know, the comedies, some comedies that I wish I could have done, because, you know, there's that tunnel vision. And the truth is, I really enjoy doing them.
This is for your body of work.
It's for my body, not my body of work. I've been doing a lot of work at Gold's Gym with a guy named T.R. Goodman, and it's basically for my body. Yeah, it's pretty much for the...
Actually,
It's not for anything in particular. They couldn't find anything quite good enough.
No. I think
They put it all together and they said, hey, maybe if we squash them together, we'll have something.
What are you expecting here tonight?
Some food.
He often played these turbulent characters on screen, and I think some of his private life was turbulent too. You know, he was 4 times married. He battled an addiction to cocaine, and the 80s was a period where he had young children, and he thought that he had, you know, enough money from the business that he could step back and kind of focus on other things in his life. He ultimately did come back. I think it was Francis Ford Coppola who gave him his first role back. Those two had a close friendship. Probably most significantly after that was Misery, in which he's, you know, laying in a bed, being tortured in this Stephen King adaptation. And again, it was kind of an interesting look at his image as this tough guy. You know, who is the last person you'd think would be being tortured by a woman, Kathy Bates? It is James Caan. So his time away from Hollywood was brief. And when he came back, he really worked steadily after that. And of course, the role that younger audiences most associate him with from the later Return to Hollywood period is Elf, where he plays this curmudgeonly father to Will Ferrell's ridiculous man-child. And he has this, again, the gruffness and the tenderness that he seemed to be able to encapsulate in one character.
Yeah, it's a joy in small things, a joy of family. And mostly I think it's about, I mean, everybody has their own interpretation. You know, it's not Hamlet, we know that. But it's, you know, we all in life have to learn to believe in things or hope that we are able to believe in things we don't see.
Un grupo grande de la presidencia de esta organización está el gran escultor.
La montée des marches de l'équipe de Blood Ties. C'est la deuxième fois que Guillaume Canet présente un film dans la